Okay, hello everybody and welcome. Fun-filled 4-hour pack race tonight for the America 150cc tournament semi-finals, third place match and finals all coming up in a row. This is the cumulation. Okay, split my words. This is the final matches of the GP tournament. In the first semi-final, we're going to have KVD versus Aron Langerak. KVD being the number 1 seed for this tournament, Aron being the number 4 qualifying. So, spent 7 weeks doing some group stages, and top 4 from those group stages qualify through to the semi-finals. This is the match between seeds 1 and 4. If anyone hasn't seen the format for this yet, this is a best of 5 speedrun on individual cups. So they'll be racing 1 cup at a time. Each cup takes somewhere between 7 and 8 minutes to complete. And whoever does the cup the fastest gets a point. First to 3 points wins the match. And following this, we'll have a second semi-final, which will be between the number 2 seed Neo and the number 3 seed Jarmu. Okay, so as for the lower seed of the 2 players, Aron gets to push one of the cups back to be played 4th, and he's pushed back Star Cup, and Carol gets the first pick from the remaining 3 cups of what we start on, and we're going to be starting on Mushroom Cup. So, for people familiar with this game, Mushroom Cup is the first cup in the game. It's the easiest cup. There's the most simple of the tracks. So this is the kind of cup where any mistake will be kind of punished tenfold, because it's likely that players will be making very few mistakes. So they're off. Carol's gone with Bowser, Aron with Donkey Kong Jr. These 2 are basically just sprite swaps of each other. The heavyweights are the fastest characters in the game, but with the lowest top speed. So if you can drive without losing speed at all, these are the most optimal characters to use. So driving some of these tracks at full speed at all times is very, very challenging to do. So with this track, it's fairly simple. Just drive round, do a nice boost across the big sand, and then a boost across the first corner, and probably aiming for something around 48 seconds. If you get a mushroom, you can cut another 1.5 seconds off of that time. So, small mistake by Carol, but managed to maintain most of the speed, so it's not going to cost him more than about half a second. Aron gets a 48.5, Carol 48.7. So there's 5 tracks in each cup, and there's really no difference between the 2 players after that first track there. Next up's going to be Donut Plains 1, and it's a track where there is a shortcut you can do, which requires getting a mushroom. I know it's something that Carol is quite well versed in. I'm not sure how well Aron can do the mushroom shortcut if he gets one. Ooh, Carol missing the zoom start, so that's going to cost him a good 2 seconds at least. So the zoom start has slightly different timings depending on which track in the cup you're in, or more specifically what position on the grid you're in. If you're at the back of the grid, it's an 8-frame window, so it's fairly easy to hit. If you're at the front of the grid, as you are on races 2 to 5 of the cup, it's a 4-frame window, so still fairly easy to hit. Most players have a greater than 90% success rate on the zoom start in this tournament. I believe Carol is one of the players who's below that threshold. This is probably the worst Donut Plains 1 I've seen Carol drive in a very, very long time. I'm used to him doing sub 1 minute, no items. Once Aron comes down with a 1 minute dead, Carol gets a 104. So Aron's slightly faster on the first two tracks in the cup. Hopefully he doesn't lose time in menus. I think Carol's slightly better at mashing through the menus than Aron. Having looked at some of the tournament stats, it does look like Aron tends to lose a couple of seconds each cup, just with slightly slow menuing. So, Coast Valley 1, very simple track, just turn left a few times. The only real challenge in this is the platform jump, but at 150cc full speed with a heavyweight character, these two players will be making it every single time, no problem. Especially if you're up at 10 coins or more. So coins in this game give you a speed boost. So at 0 coins you're at the lowest speed you can be, at 10 coins you're at the highest speed you can be. So players typically will look to collect as many coins as possible on lap 1 to give them that extra speed throughout most of the race. And it looks like we're pretty synced up now after Aron had a bit of a mistake on one of the mid laps. Bang, bang. So Carol about a second quicker on here, but he's already equalised the position in the race. But next track, Bowser Castle 1, is really one of the big tracks for Mushroom Cup. It's technically the most difficult track in the cup, and also has the highest possibility for doing some shortcuts, especially if you get a feather on laps 1 to 4. I say laps 1 to 4 because the ideal feather shortcut you want to do is at the first corner where those items are. So if you pick up a feather on lap 5, you have to do a different shortcut with it, which saves time, but just not quite as much. Aron hasn't lost 3 seconds in the menu. Aron doesn't play on an NTSC Super Nintendo. He plays on a Power Super Nintendo, which has been converted to run at 60 Hz to play NTSC games, but it runs ever so slightly slow. I think it runs at like 59.6 Hz rather than 60.1. And so he tends to lose about 3 to 4 seconds per cup just through that. Then again, also maybe 1 to 2 seconds through slightly slower menuing from just not mashing buttons quickly. So, again, we're pretty much neck and neck. Aron just went from slightly behind to slightly ahead on that race. So it's going into Mario Circuit 2, pretty much all square, all to play for here. Miss zoom start for Carol. If he knows the race position, that mushroom's going to catch him back up a lot though. That mushroom's probably worth the best part of a second, but let's see if he's going to long boost off its corner. Right. He's just holding on to it. So there are various long boosts you can do on this track by zipper tipping, ticking off the wall, or mushroom ticking off the wall. At the moment, it looks like Carol's just going to save it for crash recovery, which turns out to have been a very good decision. But Aron's still slightly in the lead here, so if he can keep it clean until the end of the race, it should be his cup. We've got one more lap to go. Avoid Bowser. Bowser's giving him some kisses. Heartbreaking for Aron there. Bowser just would not let him by. Now, if Carol can avoid... why? I don't even know what happened then. Like, to me, it looked like Carol was ahead clearly, and then went for a long boost on lap 5, didn't make it, and Aron takes it. But I don't think he needed to go for that long boost, because although Aron was ahead going into lap 5, he got trolled quite badly by Bowser. Now, if Carol was watching the stream and over some delay, or watching Aron's stream, there is usually some delay, so he might have thought he was still behind going to the end there. But wow, so Aron takes the first cup. That's probably the best thing that could happen for this in terms of being a match, because Carol is quite heavily favoured in this matchup. Though when they did play in the group stages, and it was the final match of the group stages, so only about a week ago, this matchup finished 3-2 to KVD over Aron, and that was a massive result for Aron, because he actually needed to win those 2 cups off of Carol to sneak into 4th place and make it into this final weekend. So Aron is off to a 1-0 start. That means Carol, as the loser of Mushroom Cup, gets to pick between Flower and Special as to which cup to play next. I would expect Carol to go for Special Cup. He's an absolute monster on Special Cup. But given the menus, it looks like we're going to go to Flower Cup next. So players go through all the menus, selecting the character, selecting the cup, and then you see them quit out in the first race. What that does is it locks in all those selections, so that when they start up the cup on the start of the run, they don't need to worry about any of the menuing at all. They can just mash the B button and it will take them right away through selecting the right mode, character and cup. And we do it that way because the first time we ran this tournament a couple of years ago, there was a few instances of players accidentally selecting the wrong cup and just under the pressure, and it kind of ruins the race. If somebody has to reset and redo all their menus, it's just losing like 20 seconds straight off the bat. So we do all the menu setups before each cup so that we can just mash through and go. So Flower Cups are a bit more of an interesting cup item-wise. There's item tricks you can do on pretty much all of the cups, all of the tracks, definitely on the first 4. So chuck all in one, we're going to be looking for mushrooms and feathers. So straight away Carol's got a feather. I expect him to hold that all the way through the race to the last lap. Whereas Aron's going to be cycling through some items looking to pick up mushrooms or a feather of his own. So far Aron missing the items on lap 2 is not ideal. He's got a feather as well, so I expect both of them now to keep it to the last lap. So lap 4 for Carol. You can see Carol's doing the wall hop here. That involves generating a boost, hitting the bumper, jumping over the wall and landing into a boost. Carol's going to just boost across here, hop the wall, cross the line. Aron's boost didn't really work, but he'll still get there. About a 4-second start lead for Carol. So both these players are Dutch, and they're both absolute monsters, especially in time trials. We have KVD, who is the current world #1 in time trials in both PAL and NTSC. And we've got Aron Langerak, who is the current #2 in time trials in NTSC. Both of these players are currently 1 and 2, respectively, in time trials. So goes to Valley 2. It's a fairly simple track. If you drive it cleanly, you'll get about a 47-second race, maybe a 48 if you get a bit of CPU annoyances. Players will be looking for, especially maybe Carol, is a feather. He's got a feather. And now it's really, will he go for the finish line trick or not? I personally would not do it if I was him. But he's going for it. And he's missed it. So what he was trying to do there was the finish line actually extends out into the void after the finish line. So you can jump and cross it mid-air. But by missing it, he's probably turned what would have been a 3-second lap into, I'm guessing, a 16-second lap. So the difference between getting it and not getting it, 18 seconds. So he lost 9 seconds trying to save 6. I mean, I applaud him for going for it, especially since he does have pretty good success rate with it. But having already had a 4-second lead coming out of Choco Island 1, it's a very risky maneuver to do. And a miss zoom from Karen. But this race definitely isn't over. Carroll is well within his abilities to catch back up to Aron. He's the number 1 seed for a reason. When he's getting things right, he gets things right. There's also still some very big items you can get on this cup. So on this track, the item players would possibly be looking for is a mushroom. Although again, the mushroom shortcut on this track is pretty difficult to do. If you don't get any speed items, a clean race on this track is around about 1 minute 15. So lap times of about 15 seconds, one after another. The CPU traffic on lap 5 can get very nasty though. As you can see on Carroll's side, there's like just a row of CPUs one after another. And giving a gopher a hug. We call them gophers because that's what the instruction manual for this game calls them. And just like that, Carroll is pretty much caught back up again. Aron had typical DP2 issues on lap 5 where it's a very narrow track. You don't really have much room to move off of your racing line, and with basically a wall of CPUs through the entire lap, it's incredibly hard to drive lap 5 of DP2 without hitting something. So Bowser Castle 2. This is another track where the feather is huge. If you get an early feather, you can probably do the first corner shortcut. If you get the feather later into the race, you'll probably hold it for the finish line trick. That's if you get any feather at all. I do know this is a shortcut that Aron's been practicing, so he will be going for it, and there's a good chance he'll successfully land it, which is something I don't think he's done so far yet this tournament. So far both having a pretty nice Bowser Castle 2. Aron coming through some CPU traffic. Oh, okay, he did well there. So one thing you can do in this game, if you're going to hit something, press the hot button. And if you hit that thing while you're on the upwards trajectory of your jump, you tend to bounce off of it without losing speed. So that's things like walls and pipes and other races. So if you're going to hit a CPU driver, just hop. Oh, feather for Aron. He's jumped in the lava. Does he know how to do it at fairly low speed? He's still got enough speed to do this. So let's watch the right. Oh, the CPUs. No, okay. So he could have used that feather to jump to the finish line, but having hit the lava and then being just surrounded by CPUs, I think it was a good decision for him to bail out of the main shortcut and just go for the what we call the kiddie shortcut, which is like the intended use of a feather on this track. So Carroll's now got a fairly sizable lead going into MC3. Misses the zoom start, but gets a push off of Luigi. A solid Mario Circuit 3 time typically is around 1 minute 15 seconds for players at this level. With that missed zoom start, it's going to be difficult for Carroll, but Aron needs Carroll to make another mistake. This is a best of 5, so first to win 3 cups is going to progress through to the finals. The losers will go through to the third place match. Just a quick reminder, we're doing the entire semi-finals and third place and finals one after each other tonight. So there's going to be 4 matches in a row. This is the first of those 4 matches. Following this match, we've got the number 2 seed Neo and the number 3 seed Jarman. They'll be playing their match. Then we'll have the third place match and then the grand final. So first person to win 3 cups will progress. It's a best of 5. And if Carol can just avoid getting sniped by a CPU on this last corner, he's going to take us to 1 cup each. So that was a cup where Aron had his chances. I think he's going to be very disappointed not to have won that one. But Carol, if he'd landed that Ghost Valley 2 feather, he would have had a really good time for this cup. Especially for saying there was no Bowser Castle feather for him. So that means we're going to go on to the third cup, which we know is going to be Special Cup. We know it's going to be Special Cup because Aron pushed back Star Cup to be played 4th. So players will be setting up their menu, going through, choosing the character, choosing Special Cup, and then quitting out of it. So Aron's straight into his menus. Aron just taking 30 seconds there. Hey Dan, we've got Dan on _H in chat. A legend of not just this game, but many others, especially Super Black Bass and Pacific Theatres of Operation. So 1-1 going into Special Cup. Carol has to be a big favourite for Special Cup. He's recently got the world record here multiple times. His current world record is sub 7 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. But Aron's probably going to need to do something like a 7:20 to even stand a chance in this cup, and a 7:20 is an absolutely fantastic time that maybe 3 people in the world can get. So big match. I think Aron's probably needs Carol to make mistakes, and a few mistakes in Special Cup. Yeah, so the reason why they haven't played Star Cup yet is we're not actually playing the cups in order. So the lower seed of the 2, which is Aron, gets to choose which of the 4 cups gets pushed back to be played 4th if needed. And Aron chose to push back Star Cup. Then Carol had first choice of cup in the match, and he chose Mushroom Cup. And then after that, it was a cup loser who chose next, and it just happened that they chose Flower Cup. So we will be playing Star Cup. It will just be played after the Special Cup. So down the Plains 1, players looking to stay out of the water and pick up a mushroom. If you can pick up a mushroom, you can do a trick which we call the Jesus Shroom, which basically involves driving over the water for a little bit and then jumping over a wall. So it's similar to walking on water, but walking in a cart. Yeah, the World Cup would be worth more than a recovery, for sure. The World Cup saves about 8 seconds, whereas recovering in NTSC is about 3 seconds. But when you lose all your speed and you've got a mushroom, it's very difficult not to just fire that mushroom off and get back up to full speed. So Carol coming through the first track with a few seconds of lead, going into Cooper Beach 2. Cooper Beach 2 is an incredibly difficult track, but these players may make it look absolutely simple. So the hardest thing on this track is just maintaining full speed, because clipping water, clipping weeds, hitting fish, hitting deep water, hitting CPUs, it all loses you speed. Unless you're using certain techniques like boosting and water sliding. But even then it's really difficult to basically just drive this track and not lose speed. Carroll's doing a fantastic job at the moment. If he gets everything right, he'll get something like a 47. Also looks like Aron is having a pretty decent Cooper Beach 2 as well. Finish line again extends outwards, so you see Carroll jumping out into the deep water to save another 0.3 or 0.4 of a second. And Aron with a 50-second Cooper Beach 2. You would take that any day of the week. That is still a fantastic time. Anything 50 seconds or less is really, really good on this track and very difficult to do. Ghost Valley 3. I don't want to jinx Carroll, but he is absolute beast on this track. So there's a technique where he'll come around this corner, he'll deliberately hit the wall, gets the cart knocked into a sideways position, and then when you drive over the zipper in that position you get an extended boost. And he's also picked up a feather, so we'll see, he might use a feather now or he might keep it for the last lap. Because he's holding on to it, I assume he's going to hold it for the last lap and just do the finish line feather. If he was going for PRs, he would have used it mid-lap and hoped to get a second feather. So, Aron's having a bit of a hard time, but if you watch Carroll's stream now, side now, you're going to try and jump and cross the finish line, which extends out into that void. 51.90 on Ghost Valley 3. That is absolutely crazy. Right, it's hard to describe just how good that is. Aron gets a perfectly respectable 106, but he's now needing some miracles to happen in this cup. VL2, really simple track, just turn to the left, jump over some cracks, don't fall in the water, finish with something about 43 seconds. Couldn't be easy. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. This track is absolutely rock solid. It looks simple when you watch Carroll's side and see how easy he makes it look, but try doing this yourself and keep trying, and then after a few years you might get something which resembles this 1 in 10 attempts. So Carroll, absolute master of this track. This is beautiful. Wow. There you go, 42.80. And it looks so simple, but it really isn't. Aron taking a little dip in the water, really easy to do. Thankfully he had a mushroom to recover it. He's not recovering from that one though. But realistically this cup was over after Ghost Valley 3. Wow, Carroll might we get... Oh wow, Carroll's got a feather. If he keeps everything on track here and makes the feather finish, he's going to do a sub 7 minute time. And I'll be honest, I don't even know what the world record currently is for the Special Cup, but this might not be that far off of it. I'm actually going to just have a quick look and see what the world record is. The world record is 6 minutes 53. I think that's a little beyond what he can get here. So unfortunately Carroll's probably going to get like a 1 minute 3 time for this track, which is not going to be enough for world record, but he could still go sub-7 minutes. Looks like it's going to be about 6:58. So all eyes on the left screen. He's again going to use the feather to jump and cross the finish mid-air. Look like a 6:59, sub-7 minutes. That is, in a tournament setting, absolutely crazy. And Aron was never going to beat that. I mean, all due respect, sub-7 minutes, I just don't think. I mean, yeah, there was nothing Aron could do about that. There's only maybe Scoob in the entire world that could have done something about that. It wasn't just fantastic driving, it was also really good items there for Carol, getting feathers on both GV3 and Rainbow Road. So Carol now takes a 2-1 lead in this matchup. So Carol needs to win one of the next 2 cups. Aron needs to win 2 cups in a row. The next cup's going to be Star Cup, so if Carol wins that cup, he'll be through to the final. If Aron wins the cup, we'll be going to a 5th and final cup to decide who makes the grand finals. I'm just going to catch my breath for a second there. That was crazy. It looks like the 2 players are going to have a short break, which I don't blame them. It's a high-stress situation. Taking a couple of minutes just to maybe stretch your neck, have a drink, have a quick refreshment. So for anyone who tuned in late, this is Super Mario Kart 150cc tournament matchup. This is a semi-final in our tournament between KVD, the number 1 seed, and Aron, the number 4 seed, qualifying through from the group stages. Straight up after this match, we're going into well, maybe not straight up, but we've got 4 matches planned in a row. So after this match, there'll be a match between the number 2 seed Neo and the number 3 seed Jarmu. Then once we've done that match, we'll have the 3rd place matchup. And then once we've done that, we'll be heading into the grand finals. Ooh, what a good start we've had so far. I mean, Mushroom Cup was very, very, very close. Aron basically winning that on the final corner. Flower Cup was pretty close for 3.5 tracks. It was only towards the end of Bowser Castle 2 where it stopped being a bit close. And then Special Cup, Carol getting a 6:59, sub-7 minutes in a high-pressure tournament match is just absolutely crazy. And now Star Cup. Star Cup, I know Carol believes Star Cup to be the hardest of the 4 cups in the game, and I am also fairly certain that it's Aron's favourite cup. It is a very hard cup. It's also a pretty fun cup, in my opinion. It's kind of strange because Special Cup I find really hard, but I don't find it fun. Whereas Star Cup I find it hard, but find it fun. Yeah, I think for Aron to win on that Special Cup, he would have needed to get about a 720, and it would have needed Carol to have made a lot of mistakes. I mean, just looking at Special Cup, I mean, does Aron have any times? No, he doesn't have his times listed. But yeah, I mean, 7 minutes 10 is actually the 3rd highest ranked person in Special Cup. Only 1 person has ever gone sub 7 minutes, and that is Carol. And he's done it quite a few times now. But, Star Cup is a cup where you can lose a lot of time on a lot of the tracks. So starting off on Cooper Beach 1, you want to stay out of the deep water. If you drown in that deep water, you can be just losing an instant 5 seconds. Cooper Beach 1 is one of these really deceptively easy tracks where you just turn to the right a few times, take about 8 seconds to do each lap, and the race is all over in like 42-45 seconds. But that's only if everything goes well. Things can go badly wrong in an instant here. Carol's lost a bit of speed there, whilst Aron's maintaining most of his speed. Mushroom for Carol. Decisions to be made. There is a skip you can do, but if you mess it up, you can actually forfeit the entire cup. Because let's watch Carol's stream and see what he does with this mushroom. Okay, he's just going to play it safe. Good. You can try to jump to the finish line, but if you don't make it and you cross the finish line while under deep water, it's an instant DQ. So Aron had some difficulties there towards the end with Cooper Beach 1. Gets a 48, which, again, it's not too bad. But losing 5 seconds on the last lap, not ideal. Chuck 1-2 does give opportunities for comeback though. If you get a feather on this track, you can take an 11-second lap and turn it into a 4-second lap. So there's 7 seconds to be gained just by picking up a feather here. Also, picking up a mushroom can save you probably 3 or 4 seconds, but more difficult to do. Other than that, just try and keep it clean. Get something in the mid-50s. Something like a 55 without items is pretty good. Carol, you don't want to be doing that. So what Carol was trying to do was boost through that section of off-road, but he didn't get his boost. And if you're going through the off-road without a boost, it is incredibly slow. Ooh, Yoshi trying to hit Carol with an egg, but didn't quite make it. Carol with a 59, Aron looking much better with a 56. So still a slight lead for Carol here, but only by, 3 seconds maybe? 3 or 4 seconds. It's still very close. And on to arguably the worst track in the entire game. It's a track that has everything, and by everything I mean it has junk just thrown all over it. We've got ice physics, we've got snow which slows you down, we've got ice blocks which just block the path. Then for some reason we've got random pipes, just one. Carol Shannard, you self-nannered. So yeah, this track is just a rubbish tip of a track where you're just trying to stay alive and make it to the finish. But there's already enough junk on the track, you don't want to be throwing your own bananas in your racing lines. So Aron's already caught up at the 3 to 4 second deficit and has now moved ahead. It looks like Aron's having a really good Vanilla Lake one here. Going to get something like a 47-second time if he hadn't have crashed at the last corner. 49 still decent. 55 for Carol, and Aron in the lead going into Bowser Castle 3. I say in the lead, it's like 1 second between the two of them. So it's pretty much go at the same time here. So players going to be looking for 3 things here. Number 1, don't jump into the lava. Number 2, don't get smacked by a thwomp and made stationary. Number 3, pick up a feather, do a shortcut, save time. This is quite possibly one of, if not the hardest track in the game, especially for newer players. For newer players, you quite often see them ranking out multiple times in a row on this track. These players aren't going to do that. They're going to win it easily and they're going to win it in style. But the question is, just how fast will they go? Oh, so the thwomps on this track are complete RNG. Laps 2 to 5, they can be up, they can be down, they can be falling on your head. You don't have any control over it. They're not on cycles. It's all RNG. And there's that section of track where it's 4 thwomps. If you're unlucky, all 4 can be down and just not let you through. Oh, Aron very lucky not to get squished then. Karol's kept this BC3 about as clean as you can keep a BC3. A few speed losses here, but if he gets a sub 120, no items, you're pretty happy with that. Oh, Aron just having a few difficulties here. It's going to get a 125. Not too bad, but he's going to need Karol to make a mistake now on MC4. And MC4, a track we sometimes call MC Ball, simply because there's not that much that can happen on it. Even if you do make a driving mistake, it usually only costs 1 to 2 seconds. So Aron really needs Karol to get kind of caught up by a CPU, maybe sniped by a mini shroom, or to get completely turned around at the hairpin. I don't see it happening. Karol is really pretty solid on this track. Expecting him to come around with something like a 124, 125 and win the cup. What Aron needs to do is not make any mistakes of his own, drive a clean race, get it as fast as he can, and just hope something happens to Karol during Karol's laps. And a small mistake by Aron there. So if Karol wins this cup, he'll be moving on to the grand finals, and Aron will be going down to the 3rd place matchup, which is still a fantastic achievement from Aron. He's had a really good tournament. He's progressed really nicely the whole way through. He looked a little bit ropey in his opening couple of matches, but he's been making some serious strides, which from the number 2 time trial player in the world is what's Karol doing? Trying to finish off with style, was he? I know he had a mushroom. Did he go for it? No, it was the long mushroom. But anyway, Karol coming to the finish line, wins the cup, wins the match, and moves on to the grand finals. Congratulations. Aron not too far behind. He had the cleaner of the MC4s, caught up a few seconds, but there was too much of a deficit going into that track for him to be able to catch the whole way up. So Aron's now going to be moving on to the 3rd place match, where he'll play the loser of Neo and Jami, while Karol's moving on to the grand finals, where he'll be playing the winner of Neo and Jami. So next match is scheduled to start in just over around 15-20 minutes, so should have time for a quick interview here. So while we're just waiting for the oh, I need to mark. I always forget that you shouldn't give them the points at the end. You should mark them as done. Press some buttons. Right, so yeah, looks like KVD has joined the setup room, so he should be jumping in very shortly. Hello, Karol. Congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You're a little bit quiet for me, though.
A bit closer to the mic now. Is it better?
Yeah, to be honest, I had my volume turned right down, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure chat will start shouting that they either can or can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like Aaron's going to be joining us as well. Just try and
Yep.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello, hello.
Okay, he's not here. Okay. I tried trying him, but he jumped straight back out, so maybe I don't have permissions to do that. So, congratulations, and hello as well, Aaron.
Hey guys.
Hey there.
That was a very
Thanks.
interesting match. Let's just start off with Mushroom Cup, because that's where we started off. Carol, were you listening to the commentary or watching the restream or something?
I was sometimes glancing at the restream between races just to know if I was ahead or behind.
So, did you
that's
think
it.
you were behind going into the last corner of MC2?
No, I did not, but the CPU had a really difficult pattern, and during that slide, you can't really deviate much, because if you do that, you spin out because of the NTSC mechanics. So I was just, yeah, I just got wrecked, basically.
Because it looked like you were going for a long boost or something.
No, I was just panicking because of the computer characters being so
Okay,
close.
because you were actually behind going into lap 5 of MC2, and then for whatever reason, Bowser did not want to let Aaron through. He was just like hugging and kissing him for about half a lap.
Wow.
And during that time, Aaron lost so much speed that you actually went from being a couple of seconds behind to being a couple of seconds ahead. And you came into the last corner, and I just thought you were going for a swag long boost, or you thought you were behind and thought you needed to save like half a second at the last lap or something.
Absolutely not. It was just me panicking with CPU so close at the jump.
And Aaron just managed to keep it together and go around, took the Mushroom Cup, which
I think it was my only cup that I played pretty good. The other three I was
well, Flower Cup was
unlucky
pretty
with
good.
the inside the feeling.
Yeah, you were
Sometimes
leading
it's
Flower
like
Cup
that.
until BC2, actually.
Yeah, and I had the
Yeah.
feather. I practiced this the whole week to get this feather right, and then I get the feather in the last lap, and then I jump in the lava just the corner before. Such a shame.
Even after jumping in the lava, you could have still done the feather, but you had 2 CPUs just buzzing around you, so I don't blame
I think
you
it was
for
too risky. I just only practiced it with 10 coins full speed.
Okay.
I didn't have it, so I had to improvise. And the shroom I did was, the feather was pretty cool actually. I landed on the zipper, it didn't crash, but still lost some time there.
I was surprised to see you going for the GV2 feather, Carol.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty decent success rate at that one, but I shouldn't have gone for it because I lost speed in the lap before. And at lower speed, that's exactly what Aron said. I always practice it with full speed, but I thought I could still do it, but no, I couldn't, it turned out.
I mean, especially after you coming out of Chuck Island 1 with a 4-second lead, like it seemed a little bit unnecessary. But
I mean, when I get items, I'm just greedy. I want to execute them. I don't know.
That's how you
which
almost
brings
get
us
a
on to Special Cup. Special Cup was, I mean,
Top 7.
there's nobody in the world who's driven sub 7 minutes other than you, so there wasn't really anything Aaron could do about that. That was just crazy.
Yeah, and I think like put me up against myself, and I would also lose because you need good RNG as well on top of that.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, a 51-second GV3 is just insane, and then you go on from that and do a 42-second VL2, and then get the feather again on Rainbow. Yeah, it was a convergence of just really fantastic driving and 2 really good items. It's almost a shame that you didn't get the mushroom on DP3, because to see a world record again would be quite insane in a match of this.
I had one, but I burned it in the first lap.
You don't like the Jesus room on DP3, Aron?
No, I wanted to go for it, but I hit the water, so I had to use it to get off full speed. I could have chosen to go for it, but well, in the end it didn't matter. If you drive sub 7.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you're not at full speed or not comfortable, it's probably best to avoid going for moves like Ghost 32. I shouldn't have gone for it, but yeah, stubborn.
Oh, you got
So,
away with it this time, but if you get it in the final, I'm not sure.
Exactly.
it was a
And
fantastic
I'm not
matchup
saying you're
between.
playing against Leo because I have faith in Sophie as well.
So it was a fantastic matchup between the time trial world numbers 1 and 2. Aron, you've made some fantastic strides during this tournament. I mean, the first couple of matches you played in the group stage, you looked pretty ropey in GP, but with every round, you've just improved and improved and improved. And
Thanks, Mo.
yeah, fantastic. It was fantastic to see you progress, but knowing just how skillful you are at this game, it wasn't really that much of a surprise to see you come on.
Yeah, I think, can I chime in on that? I think if I played Aron the first weeks of the tournament, I probably would not have been nervous, but actually I was not comfortable a single moment in the last 2 matches I played against him, so that already tells you he improved a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And it's not over for you, Aron. You still have a third place match to play in just over an hour's time. You'll
and I was
be playing
about
the...
to say, because, before I started today, my goal actually is to get third, because I already had the feeling I might lose against Carol, so it's a good warm-up. Now I can do a little relaxing, and then I'm ready to get a bronze medal, hopefully.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck against
my goal
Neo.
was third, so I can still accomplish.
Good luck beating Neo, Aron.
That would be quite something. Well, good luck with the final, Carol.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep, good luck to both of you in your upcoming match.
Hold the Dutch flag for me as well.
Probably have to move things along because there's another match due in a few minutes' time, and there's going to be some setup required. And you both have another match to prepare. Aron, you've got about an hour. Carol, about 2 hours before your match.
What shall I do in those 2 hours? Play or just watch? I don't know.
I'm gonna watch and drink some.
I think I'm gonna watch as well, just to calm down a little. So, yeah. Thanks for comms, Mol. Thanks for effing, Coach. Yep. And yeah, good luck on the remaining 3 hours or so.
Yep.
To the crew.
Good luck, Neo. Good luck, Jomu. Bye-bye.
So next matchup is going to be very shortly between Neo and Jamu. I'll be dipping out of comms on that one, and you should be having the Drunk Strawberry and Fire Waster on that. So keep tuned in. Next match should be starting in about 8 minutes' time.